Hello friends and welcome into the Cowboys Report with clothing provided today by Kashiyama the Smart Tailor. I am your host Tom Downey. We're going to get into some rumors, but first some good news on the Dallas Cowboys on the injury front. Both Leighton, Vander, Esch and Robert Quinn, they suffered injuries, left the game, did not return against the Eagles, but they should be fine. Vander Esch has a stinger in his neck. He wanted to return. Doctor says no. He thinks he's going to be fine. Also disputed any reports of previous neck injuries that he's had in the past. Robert Quinn, meanwhile, suffered that rib injury. He should also be good to go. Frankly, the bye week is coming at a pretty decent time for the Dallas Cowboys. DeMarcus Lawrence and Antoine Woods have been a bit banged up this year. They get a full week of rest. Robert Quinn, who had that earlier injury during a suspension, with the rib injury now, he's going to be fine too. And then Leighton Vander Esch gets an extra week to recover from that neck stinger. All in all, the bye week comes at the absolutely perfect time for the Dallas Cowboys. They get to get healthy, putting on the offensive line, but most importantly, Leighton Vander Esch, Robert Quinn, they are expected to be okay. It's a big deal for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's dive into the rumors now around Dallas. Here's the big one out there right now. What about Urban Meyer to the Dallas Cowboys, which, by the way, if you're already subscribed, you knew that from our Jason Garrett replacements video. I'll give this one 2 stars. It is possible, but I do think there's been a little bit of overreaction to Urban Meyer's comments. I think they've been taken a little bit out of context. Now, Urban Meyer did say, speaking generally about the Lincoln Riley connection to the Dallas Cowboys, that that's the job you want in football because it's the Dallas Cowboys. It's the New York Yankees. It's one of the big brands out there in professional sports. It's tough to say no to it. Now, he was on Colin Cowherd's show, and Cowherd following up, well, have you been called by the Cowboys? And he said no. That's never been the case, that the Cowboys have never called Urban Meyer about an open job. Well, what if they had? And Urban Meyer said, absolutely, I would have considered it. He was speaking in the past tense there, so just keep that in mind. But I think it is a possibility of a change there. If and when Garrett gets fired, I think Urban Meyer should be on that list. But do you want him as the Cowboys head coach if, of course, Jason Garrett's fired? Well, let me know in the comments section who your top target is. Mine will continue to be Lincoln Riley until Lincoln Riley says, absolutely no, I'm never coming to the NFL. I'm not coming to the Cowboys. That's at the top of my list. Now, today's show is brought to you by Kashiyama the Smart Tailor. A custom-fitted suit from our friends over at Kashiyama. They start at $300. But oh, by the way, if you follow them on Instagram, it's at Kashiyama Tailors. Check the description. The link's in there. Follow them on Instagram at Kashiyama Tailors. They'll enter you to win a free blazer. And if you want 2 entries, well, DM them Go Cowboys. Again, that's at Kashiyama Tailors. All you got to do is follow them, and you're entered to win with 1 entry, 2 entries if you DM them Go Cowboys. I'll try not to get angry here. But is Amari Cooper unlikely to re-sign with the Dallas Cowboys? I'm going to give this one the fake news. I don't buy this for a second, for a couple of different reasons. It comes from Jason La Canfora, so, check your sources on that one. The report was that Cooper's departure is, quote, increasingly likely, and he's probably not going to be back, which it doesn't actually make that much sense, because if you're the Cowboys, you're going to bring back Amari Cooper. Like, why wouldn't you? And they claim the deal wasn't close, which I guess is fair, and there's also only 1 tag. Here's the problem, though, with that. It's actually not the case. 2020, because it is set to be the final league year of the current CBA, the way it works, it actually allows both the franchise tag and the transition tag. So even if the Cowboys don't get a deal done with Dak Prescott, unless there's a new CBA reached by March, the Cowboys have both of those available. So somebody didn't do their research for this. Jerry Jones, by the way, he also expects Amari Cooper back. I do. I think everyone else out there should be. Now, it's going to be expensive. Make no mistake about that. Julio Jones, $22 million. Michael Thomas, reported as $20. There's unlikely to be an incentive, so it's actually less than $20 million. $18 million, that's the floor. Cooper is going to get more than Odell Beckham and Tyreek Hill. And fun fact, folks, it was 1 year ago today that the Cowboys made that blockbuster trade to bring in Amari Cooper. So are you glad the Cowboys made that deal for Amari Cooper? You guys know I had some misgivings because first-round pick was a lot. I thought that could be a top 15 pick. ended up not being the case? I think the answer is yes. And if you agree with me, like this video too. We'll call this Amari Day. The 1-year anniversary of the Cowboys trade for Amari Cooper. And since he's been here, this is 16 games, by the way, so a full season, quote unquote, 91 catches, 1,346 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So if you weren't convinced about Amari Cooper, or if you had some concerns like even I did, yeah, we can put those to bed, I think. Getting Amari Cooper was a fantastic move by the Dallas Cowboys, so like this video, show your support. We mentioned the Cooper extension. What about a Dak Prescott extension? I think it's a possibility for this week from now until, 7 days from now, including that earlier on in the Week 9 timeframe. I think it's possible. I think it makes sense, too. Getting an extension or extensions done during the bye week, it makes sense. And the Cowboys, by the way, have a history of getting them done. I'll take you all the way back to 2007. The Cowboys have this young, surprising, but promising franchise quarterback who was waiting for an extension. Well, that was Tony Romo. And the Cowboys got that done the Monday after the bye. Could they do it again this time around? The biggest problem with any Dak extension is, well, what do you pay him? I know the number $40 million had been floated around, which if that's the price tag, I'm just going to pass, and I'm not worried about it right now. We'll deal with it next year. If it's a little bit more than Jared Goff, who Dak's outplayed this year, if it's a little bit more than Carson Wentz, who Dak's outplayed this year, okay. We know how contracts work, right? The newest guy almost always gets more. So if you can do 34, that's fine. And at that point, you're $1 million away per year from highest paid quarterback. At that point, is it really going to make or break your team? The answer is no, of course it's not. Now, there hasn't been much buzz lately, but I think Dak Prescott on an extension there makes a lot of sense for the Dallas Cowboys if that's the route they want to go. And I'd rather have it out of the way. And Jerry Jones loves to win the media circuit, especially during his bye week. So what would you guys pay Dak Prescott per year? I mentioned the price tag of the floor. It's $33.5. That's what Jared Goff got. Dak's better right now, better than Carson Wentz, as we saw on Sunday night. And if you're at 34, we'll say, or 33.75, whatever number you want to call it, it's not that much more than 35. At that point, maybe you just get it done and you're over with it there. But let me know in the comment section what you would pay Dak Prescott per year. All right, the NFL trade deadline, it is 1 week away. Let's talk trades here, although you guys might not like this one. Is it going to be a quiet Cowboys trade deadline? I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I don't anticipate a major blockbuster move like what we saw last year. Jerry Jones, by the way, agrees. Quote, it's probably not even in the same universe as the likelihood that we would do something like Amari or, frankly, anything close to that. So if you're like me and you just crave Jamal Adams, A, we know he's not available. B, I don't expect it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, mostly because I don't think the Cowboys want to give up a premium draft pick right now. They didn't like not having one last year. Of course, it worked out fine. I'm not saying it didn't. But for the Cowboys, you want that first-round pick. You know full well Jason Garrett might not be your head coach next year. Do you want to quickly move on from your first-round pick when you might want to get somebody else in to help your new coach? The Cowboys believe this team is good enough, as is, to make a deep playoff push. Are they going to sacrifice their first-round pick to do that and make it even better? I don't think they will. That's why I think it's 3 stars here. The Cowboys don't make a big move of any type, really, for a player. There could be some other minor moves, which we'll get to in just a second. But first, folks, today's show brought to you by Kashiyama, the Smart Tailor. Get yourself a free fitting. Get yourself a perfect custom-fitted suit like the one I'm wearing right now by emailing Kashiyama at dallas@kashiyama1927.com. They are literally right around the corner from us here at Chat Sports. So email Mick. She's at dallas@kashiyama1927.com. Let her know I sent you. Maybe we'll get you on the show as well. All right, next up, what about trading away somebody for the Dallas Cowboys? How about Adam Redmond, the backup offensive lineman? I'll give this one 1 star. I think there is some sensibility behind it. I just don't think it's all that likely. Todd Archer threw it out there as a possibility. The Cowboys are deep right now on the offensive line. They have a bunch of bodies. Redmond hasn't played this year, has only been active for 1 game, which is a double-edged sword. One, the Cowboys like him. Clearly, they like the depth he brings on the offensive line. But also, who's going to trade for a backup lineman who hasn't played at all this year? I don't think that makes a ton of sense there for the Dallas Cowboys in terms of the value they get. I think they value Adam Redmond a little bit higher than that. I just don't know if it's going to be we can get a 7th-round pick back. That's valuable, I guess, but I think I'd rather just have Adam Redmond on my team and have that extra depth just in case you need it if you're the Dallas Cowboys. So that's why it's only the 1 star there. I know he's more of a center, and you already have Joe Looney in that role, and you have depth on the offensive line. I just think if you're Dallas, you just kind of stand pat and say, you know what, we're not going to worry too much about it. We're going to stick with our offensive line. The Cowboys clearly, and I think it was kind of shown maybe some reasons why when Tyrod and Leal got hurt, you want as much offensive line depth as you can possibly get. I think that's the Cowboys' mindset. That's also why they drafted Connor McGovern. But if McGovern wants to come back, maybe then they trade away Adam Redmond. Just a thought. All right, last one here. Trading for George Fant. Fake news. This is a terrible idea. This comes from the failing Bleacher Report, who dubbed George Fant the ideal trade target. What? And so the Cowboys should offer a 5th-round pick. This makes less than 0 cents for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand why they thought, this is a good idea. Just think about this for a second, all right? Up here, up here, this is an absolute 0. This here is sensible trading for George Fant. It is somehow below absolute 0. Crazy, I know, right? The Cowboys don't need George Fant. There's no reason to bring in a mediocre at best backup offensive lineman. You have 2 already in Cam Fleming and Brandon Knight. Just stick with those guys. Bringing in Fant is silly. And calling him the ideal trade target? Has no one watched the Cowboys over at Bleacher Reporters known to go, hey guys, that's stupid. This is a terrible, terrible idea for the Cowboys to give up anything for a backup offensive tackle right now. Stick with Cam Fleming with Brandon Knight. I know it's not great, but to call George Fant the ideal trade target? No, that's terrible. I want to hear your guys' idea instead. Any answer you put in there, I feel confident. Almost any answer you put in there is going to be better. Someone on our NFL Live Q&A said, what about trading for Matt Stafford? I just got up and walked off the set because that was insane. So almost any idea I'm sure will be better, but let me know down in the comments what your ideal Cowboys trade target is. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.